Hey. Ooh. Ready to get your whole life together with growing healing issues.
Welcome back to another episode of Growing Healing and Shit. This is part 2 of How Women Date, the Disney Princess Complex.
So dating is not the same as fucking and sucking multiple men. When it's said that you need to date multiple men, it just means to be courted until you decide on an exclusive boyfriend. And until you agree to be a man's official girlfriend, verbally, you are still single.
Verbally, he pointed that out.
Verbally. Because, niggas, they'll have it in their head that they're your man already. And you be thinking that you're their girlfriend, but in order for them to keep their flexibility and their freedom, they won't tell you that. But they're going to do just enough to make you think that y'all are together.
Right. I feel
And
like
that's tripped me up a couple times too. But bitch, I know the game now.
Like, what would you describe as like one time that you got tripped up by that?
In my damn last relationship, and the word girlfriend didn't even come up until like 4 months into it, and he was just saying something, and then damn, how did that conversation go? I don't really remember, but he was basically like, yeah, I already feel like you're my girl anyway. And I took that, not knowing any better, I took that as, oh, okay, so that means we together now. Like, nigga, just because you feel like I'm your girl already, you never asked me. We didn't have a conversation about it. We don't even know if we both want the same things for the future. For real, for real. You just, so that's where I got caught up at.
I know, even for myself, I remember dating my man and dating somebody else. I was just telling y'all the other day about that. Like, meeting him, talking to him all day, every day, like, oh my God. And I think that the more that you talk to someone and take someone's time, you start to feel like they're yours. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you feel like, where else can they fit someone else? Like, where all these emotions they're pouring out, you feel like nobody else, you don't got room for nobody else up in there.
Right.
But I thought, like, the more time we spend, it's like, because you're spending so much time being invested in me and wanting to be around me and hearing my voice, and like, I would assume that you want a relationship. Like, what's the difference?
Right.
But
it's a huge difference.
It is a huge difference, and it's especially a huge difference to men. For women, it's like breathing air. Like, what relationship title is like bestowed upon me? Like, after the first month, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was so dramatic, but that's really how we be feeling.
Really, like, and I remember even saying to him, like, I think after the 3rd month, I think he knew, like, because I was really on some, like, I'm here just to date. I'm just here for fun. And he would ask me that maybe every 2 weeks, because I guess he would feel like my feelings starting to change. And he would make those like hints like, oh, I really do mess with you. I think you're dope. You're the first woman to do this and be this. And, like, I could see you being somebody, like, I can really see, like, they'll create a little future for you to walk towards. Because then you'll be like, hold up, do you feel this? When they be like, no. And then you be like, oh, well, I guess I can't really mess with you. And they're like, hold up. Like,
right, babe. It's babe.
Yeah. Right. They be like, hold on. Just go with the flow. Like, let's just remember the connection. Like, you're really special to me. Like, they'll really feed it to you so you don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then they give you the hope that you'll be in a relationship with them eventually. So it's like you stick
Eventually,
around.
when they feel like it, that's when they
Right.
get
They want
twisted.
the loyalty, but without the accountability.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I remember even him introducing me to his friends, and I'm thinking that, you know, I might as well be his girl, his special lady. And he's like, "Yeah, this is my friend." I said, "Friend, friend." He's like, "Yeah, like
Yeah,
friend." That's
because you
what the.
were.
I'm like, we dating. Like, what you thought? He's like, "No, I only
Nope.
date people that I'm in a relationship with." What? Like, what are you talking about? That is
Okay,
not how
that
that
doesn't
works,
make
sir.
sense, but all right.
Look, that is not
Okay,
how it works.
it's not.
Like, but I do remember even him feeling like at one point, I think at one point he wanted space, like, you know, I think I keep hopping from relationship to relationship. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, you know, I feel like I need space to breathe. I'm like, he's like, I'm so sad I met you at this point, you know, when I feel like I may need that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna block you then, because, you know, I don't know like what else to do. You know, I made this connection, you're not going to stay in my life, so I'm just going to block you. He's like, oh, nah, I changed my mind, like I can't imagine myself not talking to you.
See,
Girl,
and that's also where you fucked up by telling him you was gonna block him. Cause
girl,
now he's like, oh, let me do just enough to keep her ass around, even though I
exact
want to do me.
bruh. And see, I didn't even think about it like that. I'm just like, I'm like, oh, I guess I got that kind of power. Like, I have to remove myself
Nope.
out of your life to keep you pushing or whatever. And then when my feelings started to grow, I was like, all right, well, now I'm starting to feel like I am your girlfriend, but I'm not, I don't have the title from you. He's like, but, you know, I don't feel like I'm ready for that. Ready for what? You're already doing everything
Right.
that a girlfriend, I'm already doing everything a girlfriend does. You're already acting like my boyfriend. So I don't get what you're saying or
Mm-hmm.
whatever like that. And so I ended up having to give him that ultimatum. Actually, he saw another guy basically treat me like he was interested in me, and then that night he was like, okay, you could be my girlfriend, because at first he was not messing with me.
Nah,
he was
nigga.
he was like basically I had to force him to be my boyfriend or whatever, in a sense, by threatening to like keep it moving. But once he actually saw another, it literally, he had never seen another man like know me, have interest in me, and then literally that night he was like, so you want to be my girlfriend? I was like, now. He was like,
Right.
why?
Cause fuck you. Because now you're only doing it just to mark your fucking territory, bitch. I'm not a fire hydrant. First of all.
Exactly. But that's my story though. But it just shows like I literally thought, like I really thought, and this whole time for him it was a whole different ball game.
Damn. That was very trash of him.
Yeah,
But
girl.
we fall for it because we honestly don't be knowing no better. And like you said, we think we have some kind of power, like, oh, he can't stay away, he can't let me.
Yeah,
Bitch, it don't have nothing to do with you. You're not special. Your pussy not no better than the next bitch. It's just
girl.
him marking his territory. Plain
But
and
you know
simple.
what? Even in my mentality, I was like, you know, I'm by my person, because you, as your own self, think that you special. Like
Yeah,
just
you
the
do.
combination of you think
You
that
do.
you're special. Whereas, like, they looking like, okay, I met you already.
Right. Because he did. Because you're no different than the next girl, especially the next girl that thinks like you.
Mm.
Y'all all a drop in the bucket.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day though, like I feel for myself, it's crazy because the connection was really good. Like I thought it was really good. Like it really didn't need anything, but I just felt like I needed that title. Like the title would solidify me in his life. The title would mean that he truly values me and sees
Right.
me or whatever like that. So it
Right.
was just, that was the goal for me. And I was losing sight of the connection. I was gonna give up that connection just for the dang on title, a label.
Yeah.
So
Damn. As we all think that the title is going to magically change something, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
That's
it
just like
doesn't.
thinking that all your problems go away when you get married,
girl, I
and they
did it all,
don't.
obviously.
Right.
Did it all. Probably threatened my way there too. Who knows? Who knows?
I could see it knowing you.
Bruh. Chasing freaking value up in these men's eyes when I was valuable that whole time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The connection was just as matter of fact, the connection was better prior to the labels.
It
Mm.
usually is.
But you can't
That junk
ever
is
let them
crazy.
know that, child.
Girl. But that's
They do
crazy.
be knowing though.
They do be knowing,
That's
Oh,
why
but
they don't
we
be in a
don't. We
rush.
don't be knowing. We be
Yeah, they
thinking
like
that the title is
ooh.
gonna like instantly change them.
Ooh, y'all are so right. They do be
Yeah,
knowing.
girl. You know how many times I got hit with that, man? Oh, with my last relationship, he was like, "We don't need no title. Shit always changes with a title. Blah 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 blah." I'm
Right.
like, but I need that because you're essentially wasting my time if I don't have it. When he
Right.
was wasting my time regardless.
Right. But then again, like, because we start needing that, we become desperate.
Yes.
So for them, we already had changed just because we wanted a title.
or we felt like we had to be a certain way because of that title. So I was looking through my notes on my phone. And when I used to be emotional and with my ex, I used to write notes in my phone. And
Right.
so one of them, it just basically just was highlighting my codependency tactics that I had when I was in a relationship with him. And I was just reflecting on it like, wow, I thought that he completed me. And I'm like
Mm,
thinking back on it, I'm like, I wasn't even me when I was with him. Like,
you
I was who
weren't.
I thought I was supposed to be in order to have a man.
Ooh.
Wow.
So it's like those
Mm.
labels make you feel like I need to be X, Y, and Z, which is why a lot of the times you hear men and women saying, like, once we became committed or once we got married, like this person changed because they feel like because they're now this label that they have to be a certain way. And Asia, you even attested to this, like feeling like you have to be a certain way because you're a wife.
Yep.
Girl, I was thinking that in my head as you
Yeah.
said it. I was like, and literally as soon as I got married, I was like, well, I'm your wife now. So you need to get it together.
Mm.
What is life? And the crazy thing is because I literally stepped into my mother and father's like platform.
Relationship.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I knew that's what marriage looked like. So now we have to make marriage look like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that literally changes, but your relationship wasn't your parents. So now
Mm-mm.
you're
No.
dragging it to something it was never meant to be. Your own relationship is unique to yourself and to that other individual.
Yeah. But when you have what you think is the blueprint, you know, you just automatically think that's the way it's supposed to be,
Right.
unfortunately. When you have
But
no idea what your parents went through for real in their relationship. Your mom probably
girl.
dealt with shit that you would never deal with.
And that just shows you how people will take what they see versus what they know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Like
try to
we just
mimic what they see.
Yep.
exactly ain't
Because
asked
they don't
no
know no better.
questions. Well, ain't asked no questions
No
about a
questions.
thing and end up with a relationship. And that's the thing. So many people in their connections or miss out on people just because of that. And like I said before, like they end up saying like, oh, this man, he tricked me. He tricked me into falling for him. He tricked me into thinking that this was gonna be something or tricked me into thinking we were gonna have a relationship. But it's like they really like and the men are left with like, yo, what was I supposed to do? Slap you in the face? Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, be cold to you while I'm with you? Like men are basically saying, am I supposed to be mean to you for you to get the hint of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here for the present moment.
Right. Like, no, this is my representative. Like, you fell in love with my representative, not me.
Mm-hmm.
And who says that it even has to be a representative? It's only, you know what I'm saying? It could be this is the guy and him just saying, like, I'm just chilling. I'm just cooling. I'm just trying to have a connection with you. And a woman looking at it like, well, why were you feeling on my body then? Or why was you talking sweet to me then? Like, why did you take me on that freaking extravagant date if you ain't want no relationship, if you wasn't taking this serious?
For pussy.
Exactly. And that's why we have what we have going on. Like women mad as crap for no reason. Like Girl, look at it the way he's looking at it. This is a connection. And until y'all date long enough, then you'll see exactly what it truly is or what it's
Yep.
supposed to be. But you got intentions in your mind and you messing yourself up. So,
Right.
but that's that. The other thing was like when he was talking about how like men think that you need them and that they're just playing you. Like these men could be ugly as crap,
Mhm.
boring as crap, and we
Mhm.
still out here settling.
Because we do
Mm-hmm.
because when you're in that desperate, frantic mindset, you do feel like you need them. That's why you ignore all your friends, and that's why you just completely go you just completely make a life about him in the beginning.
Girl. Girl, that junk be making me so sad. Like when I really just think about it, like think about it. Even what we discussed on the last episode, right?
Mhm.
About how you were in a situation just because like you're concentrating on getting to a certain place and you miss the whole person. Like you miss
Mhm.
what that person is even offering you. Like this person may not even be compatible to you.
And they
Like
weren't.
and you still moving forward. You still moving forward. You like, I got the
Still
man.
in it, ride or die, full speed ahead. Just because you're here and you're a man and I need a man, so I'm about to make this work by any means necessary.
Girl, men plus women, period. And that's the thing. That's what you were saying earlier. Like, married women out here freaking. Like, how many of us is it?
A
How,
lot. It's got ain't no fucking way. It's gotta
bruh,
be.
and that's the thing you got in the crazy, you know what's so sick about it, like women are solidifying themselves. The men aren't even the ones holding them there. They're like, okay, I done married you, it's too late. I done had kids with you, it's too late. Like, you know what
Right.
I'm saying, I done
Men
spent
do
all
not
these
operate
years.
like that.
Exactly.
I think men settle sometimes too, though. Like, especially in that case, it's like, damn, I'm already, just like you said, we're married, we already got kids. I might as well stay here. I'm gonna do some extracurriculars on the side
And
because
there
I'm
we
not
go.
happy. But yeah,
I
I
know you
am
heard
gonna
I
stay.
know you heard Steph say that junk to y'all, like
What?
like like, oh well, we already married though, like, oh
Oh
well,
yeah, yeah, yeah. When we was talking about power, yeah.
yes,
Like, no. You
you
don't have
end
to
your
be here just like I don't
relationship.
have to be here. But that
Exactly.
again, that was settling. They were both settling.
Both settling, but that's the problem. No, he's settling. Like, you know what I'm saying? He already know that there's something else out there, and she over here freaking blind to all the stuff she got around her and just sticking it through. Like, you know, oh, I'm gonna be an old lady. I don't. And women are so used to sacrificing that they're just like, well, you know, like even my grandmother and my aunt, they told me like they were in their 70s. I think they ended their relationship. My grandma ended her relationship when she was in, I think in her late 30s or early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt, her husband died when she was, I think, 50. And I asked them, I'm like, why didn't y'all ever get another man? Like, and they were like, girl, we've been through too much with one. Like, I'm good for life. Like, straight
They be
Mm,
like that.
I'm
good for
sure.
life, bro.
I'm
Like,
sure. Because they probably got with them men young and they don't know their lives without that
Without
man.
them, yeah.
yeah. And I'm
They're
like,
So
probably
their
enjoying,
whole
girl, I'm
so their
sure
whole
they're probably
identity,
happier.
yeah. So their
Yeah.
whole identity is wrapped around them. So now they're just like happy being free and not
Yeah.
having to worry about another man. Shit.
especially
Yeah.
back then, you know, they was straight up
Yep.
slaves to they men.
They really
Right.
were.
So I'm sure they're enjoying the freedom of not having to worry about a man because I know I am.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah.
So,
Cause you
Ooh,
was
girl.
a whole mother over there.
girl,
What
doing
about
the
you,
fucking
T,
most.
over there with your dating experience out here?
What about it?
You enjoying your experience?
Oh, yes, I am actually. I'm enjoying my dating experience. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, you know, I'm dating one guy. He's nice, but I need to be added to my roster. So I've
Hello.
been,
Yeah.
hanging out with people, meeting new people, even if they're guys, just so that
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
focused on one person.
Right.
Right. And especially like so that the even if you are interested in this one guy, like even in you balancing yourself out gives him a chance to like earn his spot in your life.
Yes, and I like that.
girl.
Like,
Because
yes,
As you
fight after me,
should.
fight over me, because my ex would say shit, but I never actually seen him do anything, and
right,
so now I kind of want to see it, like, to see if it's real.
What kind of
right.
stuff would he say?
Like, he would just always low key. I can't think of anything specific on top of my head, but just remembering the feeling. Like, I got one guy's number while we were dating, and I
Mhm.
was so nervous about it, like, because I thought he was gonna find out or go through my phone or anything like that. But I think I was just in the mindset of, I can't lose this person,
You were
because
absolutely in that mindset.
yeah, because I didn't have any,
Wow.
the people who I knew in Virginia, but this is before I met y'all, because obviously I was
Hmm.
already with him before I met y'all. So,
Right.
um, the people who I knew out there, I wasn't really talking to them. I had a friend, but we didn't really. It was a very surface relationship. So he was the only person that was consistent in my life, and was showing me attention and stuff like that. So maybe it was more along the lines of how I felt about it than like
Absolutely.
what
Did
he
you
was
feel like nobody
displaying.
else could like anybody else would have gave you that same,
I
connection or?
I did, but you have to remember, like, the timing where I was at. Like, I didn't have any friends.
Hmm.
I just finished college. I didn't have a job. Like I said, like, the
You were
people who
still
So
I
he
knew
was
really
like
out
the
young.
first
there.
one to come at the perfect time.
So when we started dating, I was in college. I was in my last semester in college, and then I was cool, right? Like, I was even still living with the people who formerly known as my godparents. I was still living with them, but I was fine. But it was when that relationship with them kind of like got rocky that I felt very isolated, because they were my stability.
So you had a lot going on at the time.
So it was like I was graduating college. I had like moved out, living on my own, didn't have a job, didn't know how the fuck I was going to pay my rent, even though I was renting a room. And then he was there. And a lot of the times he would be the only reason I would eat food. So, like,
Got
he
you.
was like somebody I could rely on, even though he wasn't shit. And when I look back on it,
Right.
he
I'm
was
like,
like,
how is his ass making sure you
right. But that was where I was at. That should just show you how low
Dang.
I where
Yeah.
I was.
And
Wow.
how no, but not even that, but it just shows you like even like at the time she didn't need much.
I needed the bare
Yeah.
minimum, and that's what
Yeah.
he was. And so,
Right.
Yes.
when I think about it, when I think about like dating now and having like y'all, and then having like the girls I know here, because even when I told my friend Jess that I went on a date, she's like, "Who is this young man?" She's like, "We need to meet him." Like, you know what I mean? Just like being super invested, even though we don't know each other that well, she still was like wanting to know like the people who I'm around, because she knows I'm out here by
Good.
myself. So it's like,
Good.
Yeah.
right, but that wasn't my experience when I was dating my ex with the girls
Right.
she was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Right.
friend. So
Yeah.
it's like I didn't have that extra support from somebody
Right.
else other than him. So
Right.
like
But you know something? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
once I got a job, I felt loyal to my ex because of how he helped me when I didn't have anything. So that's
Mm.
kind of how like that codependency thing was developed, pretty much.
Wow.
Right.
That also
And
makes sense as to why the roles kind of shifted. Like
Right.
right.
once you were, more stable, then you felt like you essentially owed him.
Yeah.
Not owed him, like, oh, I need to pay you back a debt, but I felt like like we had each other's back, type of thing. Like, it was like,
Right.
Hmm.
so not like, oh, I need to owe you and then I'm done. So it wasn't like I was doing the things to pay off a debt. It was just something where it was like,
Hmm.
when I was low, you had my back, so I feel like I need to have yours, type of thing.
Hmm.
But did it ever make you feel like he was of quality though? Like, did you ever feel like the what he was showing you was something that most men don't have?
So, crazy thing is, I did, but then I didn't. Like, that's why I was saying before, like, nothing really changed about him. It was just
Hmm.
me who changed, and me
Yeah.
who
Right.
eventually needed more.
Right.
Because I was growing in my career. You know, I'm somebody who does not stay stagnant no matter what it is. So it's like,
Right.
Mhm.
and the only aspect he, not even, I can't even say even the gym, because I worked out before him. So it's like I was always ahead of him, like mentally, educationally, financially. So it was like
Yeah.
eventually, like I just kept progressing and he was staying stagnant. So where we had met at and bonded at, I had bypassed it.
Mhm.
Right.
So like when I first like started dating him, like I even have written in my journal how I liked him so much and I was crazy about him and I fell in love with him, all type of stuff. But then once I started working and being in like the political field, I was meeting other people and other men where I was realizing like I was lacking.
Yeah.
So
Really?
even, yeah, so even the note I read about like how I was pissed off at him, that was like 5 months before we broke up. So like the
Mhm.
Mm.
breaking up, my me being getting emotionally attached took months. Like
Mm.
it was like every time he pissed me off, emotionally detached. Like that's why,
Mhm.
like to y'all, it just seemed like I left. But it was like if I look back at the shit I was writing, I've been emotionally detaching
Oh.
myself from him
Okay.
Right.
because it was a
Gotcha.
buildup. Like
Right.
Yeah.
it was a buildup for me to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to what you were saying about when you were dating him, you didn't have that support system. Cuz for even myself, like instead of saying like I didn't have the support system, I actually did have a support system, but I isolated them, because I just felt like I needed to. It was like I was going into the lab or something. Like freaking cooking up some concoctions or something just to have whatever it was that I thought I was gonna have. And I think that, I didn't want judgment in there. I didn't want nobody to pull me out of whatever fantasy that I was in. But the sad thing is that I needed my friends at that time. I needed,
Right.
Mhm.
I needed my family at that time. Like looking back, he knew that. He would tell me that, go get you some friends. Like, why is you always here? Why is you
Mm.
always around me?
Oh,
Like,
that's sad.
yeah. It wasn't until he did that and it became a breakdown. Like I didn't listen until it was a breakdown. And I was like, you know what? I need to I at that point I had felt like it had been a year since I've been around the people that I would go out with. I felt like my family didn't know nothing about my life for real, for real. Because in a sense I kept it hidden and I was like, you know what? Like I need some friends. I need somebody to take my mind off of what's going on. Like in my relationship. I need to have some fun. Like I got into this relationship just to have fun. And now, like, look at it. Like, now it's super serious. Now it's all this tension. Now, I feel like he don't even like me or whatever. And like, that's when I found Mary.
Ah.
Really?
Yeah, that's when I found you. I was like, I asked him, I was like, I was like, you want to go to the movies? And he was like, no, I don't think I want to go. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do something today. So that's when I went out and I went to the wine party.
Oh my god.
Right. So he basically forced me to get friends.
Yeah. Which is
Sadly.
Good for
which you
Stefan. Good for Stefan.
right, but it's like you should have already had him in the first place. I
But
mean, you did have him. You
I
chose to
didn't know.
isolate.
I don't know what it is. I felt like, you in the kitchen, you cooking, you thinking once it's finished, you know what I'm saying, we could all come out and enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that when I was cooking it, you know what I'm saying, I was also isolating myself and I was also,
Mhm.
tightening the leash around us. And you know what I'm saying, when you're around somebody for a long time and that's your normal routine, like there's no spontaneity, there's no, oh, this is what happened with my day, or this is the adventure. Because honestly, a lot of people, like, they always, like, I listened to I forgot who it was, but they were like, a lot of couples realize that they desire their partners more when they're out, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and they're doing something that they love, and they're like, oh, I went to do this today. And you know what I'm saying, the excitement and realizing like they can see outside of the relationship,
You
because when, go ahead.
so I was talking to actually one of the guys that I'm dating. And I said, you have more to bring back to the relationship. Like, if we're only around
Right.
each
Yes.
other, what the fuck? Y'all gonna run out of shit to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
and that's where it gets stale and it gets boring and stuff like that. So it's like you want to bring back that excitement to your relationship. And so you guys can build upon that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
And
it's,
it's emotionally healthy.
yeah. And it's just like, I know for me, like, especially with my ex, like, it became a point where I realized that my friends were way more fun than being with my ex.
Girl, me too.
And
Remember we did
so,
at the same time, T. We was
yeah, I
doing
was
it
like,
at the
oh,
same
I'm gonna go
time.
hang out with my friends. Bye.
Yeah,
Girl, and I would come back
good
like, you
shit.
boring. Like I told him straight out, I was like, I'm out here having way more fun out here than with you. Like, what's going on? Like, nah. Like, what do I need
Mm-mm.
you for if I got friends?
Exactly.
Literally, my ex, that night that we all were supposed to go out and we ended up staying at Jay's house, like, he was
Mm-hmm.
so mad because I left him. Like, he was like, you didn't even give me a hug. I'm like, I'll see you later. Like,
I'm
bye.
gonna see
Like,
you
Yeah,
later.
like
Like
you
I'm gonna come
started seeing
sleep
the
with you at the end of
dependency
the
he was
night.
league.
like,
Fuck.
yeah, yeah, he did, Asian. He started seeing the dependency league because as soon as Kayla came to pick me up, I was like, come on, we gotta go. We were supposed to be there 25 minutes ago. And I just
Bro,
walked away. And the next day he was like, you left without your friend. You didn't even wait for her. I'm like, what? Like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to hang out with. He wanted me to hang out with him and his friends, so he
oh
wanted
my
that
God, T.
compromise.
T.
No.
Steph would be like, he'd be like, oh,
No.
well, how you know I didn't want to do something with
You
you? And
didn't
that's
want
when
to do shit.
Cause you
That's how I
wanted, bitch. You would
know.
have said it. You would have fucking said it. You knew I had
yes,
plans. You just want me to cancel them. Fuck
Yep.
you.
bruh,
Just to see how
bruh.
loyal I am to you.
Yes, that's all it is. It's just a
Exactly.
test. Cause y'all
Wanted
ain't
to
gonna do shit
exercise
but
his
sit in the damn
control.
house.
Girl, I remember that time. Oh my God. It's so funny because me and you started changing at the same exact time. And that's
Yeah.
when I remember you saying that, but then but Stefan was like doing it in a different way of like you said, freaking just seeing like what his effect was still on me. Because at that point, because I didn't have no support system, I was codependent. You
Yep.
know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like I
Same.
was just in this bubble where we was just two freaking personalities and I was just gauging, okay, is he happy, is he happy, is he happy, oh he's not
Mm.
happy, okay, well, what did I do? Like, I want to make you happy, I want to make sure you can stay here, I'm sad because you sad, like, okay, how can we make this better? And it was like I wasn't even paying attention to myself. And I feel like having that support system, matter of fact, I felt like I idolized him at one point. I made him like a god to me, like, you're
Oh
perfect,
yeah.
like, why would you be with me? And I'm like, and look at your personality is so bright, and you're so this and that, and like literally acting like I wasn't that.
Right.
Mm.
But around him, I forgot who I was. But when I was with friends, I was myself. You know what I'm saying? It reminded me like, yo, I done lost myself. I need to get it together. Get it together, girl. Craziness. Oof. We're at the end. It's basically what we had talked about the other day of like, now both of y'all are basically dating and you have new information, you know what I'm saying, in regards of how to date. You already did it the wrong way. You did it the way that you thought it was supposed to be. It didn't work out. And now y'all are in different stages of your life where you feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be in control of my life. Like I don't want to be a slave no more. So it's more like allowing yourself to create the life that you want while using men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let y'all go with that though, because y'all out here.
Uh, so it's interesting, right? Because I'm dating one guy and he's cool. I like him, but it's a very different like that I've felt before because it's not like this obsessive, over needy like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I realized like that's how I've liked people before. And so I think that this experience is allowing me to realize that whatever void I had with past relationships, I have filled on my own. So I
Mm.
think that it allows
Wait,
for, go ahead.
make please deepen that. Like I'm missing something. I feel like I just missed something.
So we realized, we talked about this before, that I have toxic dating traits revolving
Mm-hmm.
around codependency.
Mm-hmm.
So in my previous relationships, especially my past three, they started very fast. And
Okay.
so I expected, you know, when I met this guy for it to speed up super fast. But it triggered something in me because I know that that's not healthy. So it was like a trait that I was used to happening. It was like I was kind of watching myself because it was like I really want this one thing to happen, but I know it's toxic. So I had to have
Right.
like
So
this
you were
battle
looking
with
for like
myself.
instant results, and
Right.
now you're like, I don't want those
And
results no
right.
more.
No, I wanted them, but then there was a part of me that was like, that's not emotionally mature. Like you have to
It's
stop
not.
that. Instead
Right.
of me taking it out on the person that I really wanted the attention from, I checked myself. And
Right.
so
Right.
that's what I mean when I'm saying the void. Like I had to have that conversation with myself and being like, you don't know this person. There's no reason for you to want the consistent contact with him that you do. Like you don't know him. Like calm the fuck down.
Right.
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 So having
Right.
I've had to have multiple conversations with myself about that. I had to journal about it and meditate about it because it's something that I'm so used to happening that, like we said before, it's like, well, why don't you want to talk to me all the time when I'm bomb as fuck? You know what I mean? But it's like in
Right.
reality, I need to be okay regardless if he talks to me or not.
Right.
So
Because what are you
feeling
gonna do when you start dating other people, and it's like
right,
you
right.
sped up your feelings, you sped up like you use 24-hour, you gave him 24 access, and it's like, where's anybody else gonna fit in? Where are you gonna
Right.
fit in?
Where am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna fit in? And that's when I started um adding to my nighttime regimen. Like instead of just like making sure I wash my face and brush my teeth, like I make sure I write in my journal, I have tea, I stretch or I meditate, like just adding on to like
That
the
sounds so
personal
beautiful.
time that Thea needs to have
Right.
because it can't be like me hanging out with my friends, going to work, trying to get his attention, trying to date other people, and then there's no space for me. So that's what I mean when I say like
Mm.
I still like him, but he is not a need. Like I don't need
Yeah.
his
Right.
attention for me to be okay. And so that's why
Right.
I'm saying it's a very different type of feeling because it's like regardless whether he hits me up or not, I'm good. And so that's what I mean where I'm saying like I feel avoidant within myself that I didn't even realize was there that I was feeling with other men.
Right. That makes so much freaking sense.
That's
Mm.
excellent.
Mm. And what about like, because I know before you did date with a goal, I mean, Mary, you can answer that as well, but like before you had the intention of a goal, so the way that you're moving is because you're forcing yourself to slow down and say, I have no goal, so what's the rush?
Right.
Exactly. All of
Instead
that.
of it being like, oh, I need to talk, I need to figure out everything about, I not even figure out everything about him. Like, just I need to speed up this process so we can be in a relationship
Yes.
so I can feel comfortable.
Yes.
It's no longer
Yes.
about that. It's not.
Yep.
Do
I don't
you think
really.
that's what it is? Relationships equal comfort, safety,
Yeah,
like.
Safety. Yes.
that's where it comes from.
A lot of women that have that mentality, they have already built this life in their head. They just need the man to comply.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
when the man doesn't, their plan is thrown off track. And then
So
they're
they feel crazy.
frustrated and they feel crazy and they do the most. Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. This is actually making a lot of sense.
Which is why you have women who is like, okay, we had sex, now what are we? So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
instead of just enjoying that moment that y'all just had, it has to rush to be something else, and it's tied to the toxic monogamy and the slut shaming. Like if you don't have a man,
Yes.
you don't have no value, and all of this shit is
Yes.
tied together. And
All of
instead
it.
of people really getting to know each other and figuring out like, damn, do I even fucking like you? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like getting
Right.
past the honeymoon stage and really seeing people for who they are and not trying to make them out to be who they want to be, who they want them to
Right.
be.
Just to fit your fantasy
Right.
that you've created based on based on societal pressures.
Right. Mm.
Because that's all it is. If there were no societal pressures, no woman would be out here desperate for a man. Like, oh, I need to be this, and this before 30, or I'm gonna hang on to this trash ass man just to say I have a man. Like, it wouldn't be like that if it weren't for societal pressures.
Right.
Mm. So how do y'all now, knowing like after reading GL and really he's empowered? I think it's more like women this whole time, like we've been feeding into men and their rule book, what they want
Uplifting the patriarchy.
Yes.
basically. And it's like how do you feel like now we can spin the story? Because like you said, T, you the aspect that the in the beginning, or the approach that you even have right now, is just moving slowly. But how about in regards to dating? Like, how can you control the narrative in regards to like creating the life that you want outside of y'all just, you know what I'm saying, talking or whatever like that?
I think my main goal is to make sure, because I have a short attention span and I get bored super easily. So I just want to make sure that whoever I'm spending my time with, we're doing fun shit. And it's not just about what they want to do, but it's also about what I want to do. And also making sure that I'm living in the moment and not trying to romanticize whoever I'm spending my time with. And
Mm-hmm.
Right.
also realizing that I am the prize. So like you said about Stefan, like saying, "Oh, well, I think you're special," and all those type of things. Like all those things are great, but that doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yep.
I know I'm special. I know I'm beautiful. Like I know all these things. Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like instead of
Exactly.
being like, "Oh my gosh, she thinks I'm special," and
And that makes the
Right.
oh, she's
Because I've never
relationship.
heard this
spicy.
compliment before, so now I'm
Oh, and
beside
it's like,
myself.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
no.
Thank you. Like you
And
Right.
that's how
and
they get
every
held
other
in
nigga
their
thinks that
spot.
way. Yeah.
Right.
Instead of it saying like, okay, you think that, but what are you really about? But what are you really saying? What are you really doing? Are you being consistent? Are you being considerate? Like
Right.
really seeing their characteristics instead of
The
taking
mask, which
on
is
right
that.
taking on the romance, and which is great. I love romance, but I want that, and I want chemistry, and I want to
Yes.
have fun, and I want, you know what I mean, like I want you to care, you know what I mean. So it's
Yep.
just like making sure that I'm getting the things that I want instead of just trying to be like, "Oh, a man," and that's it. You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
Right.
"Oh,
playing a role
a
for
man."
him too.
Right. Oh, a man, and you're consistent and you hit me up every day and that's it. You know what I mean?
And
Like
that's it.
Right.
not requiring them to do more and not holding them to a certain standard, because in reality, some of the things that I'm doing with the guy that I'm dating now, I've never done. Like as far as like
Yes.
I'm an aggressive person. So like if you don't hit me up, I'll be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I'm not doing that because it's like that's not my job. Like I should not be
It's
doing
like,
that.
what's the point
Right.
anymore at this
He like
point?
if he's interested, he needs to say something. If he wants to talk to me, he will talk to me.
Right.
Like taking holding back, because like we said, men will go through whatever
Yep.
to get
Yeah.
with you if they want to be with you. But if you
Right.
make
Right.
the job easier for them,
Or you chase them.
or you chase them, then that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it takes the fun out of it, or if,
You
men don't
can't see
like
what they're
desperate
made
women.
of. They
Right,
they
right.
can't
But
see
I'm
what
saying
they're
I'm
made
saying
of.
for men, because it's a turn off
Right.
for men. So I wonder why it's a turn off for them. That's what I'm saying. I don't know
Because
why it's a turn off
because
for them.
they can't see how they truly feel about someone unless they're
When you're
chasing
pressure,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So if you make
Interesting.
it easy, they're gonna be looking like, well, where did I really like her? Where did I see myself? Because they're basing the vision of how they feel about someone based off of the actions and the lengths that they went to go after them.
Oh, so the chase reminds them of why they like this girl in the first place.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That is extremely interesting.
Okay.
I'm crying, but
Yeah,
yes.
because I never. That's like I just said. Like I never. I was like, I don't. I'm not gonna say it's like I just never got why men, like
Yeah.
being pressed up on was a turnoff. Like, are doing the most was a turnoff for them.
Girl, I didn't get it either, which is why I was like, okay, you gotta do this, that, and the third. You overworking yourself. And like I think that's why I felt so empowered, even being married. I felt so empowered about GL because here I am doing all the things I consider being a wife, and he's looking like, oh, cool. Oh,
Right.
thanks. Oh. And it's like, why aren't you appreciative? And it's like, where are you leaving room?
Right.
You doing everything, you checking all the boxes. Where are you leaving the room for him to show up, for him to even be grateful? How can somebody be grateful for things that, you know what I'm saying, they didn't even ask you to do?
Right.
Like, who said that was a requirement to have someone?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like we just do too much, but also we have these double intentions and we miss out on so much. We miss out. That's us taking away from the connection or the role of a man.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't even know who these people are because we're taking away their identity.
Right.
Ooh, I
Not
didn't even
letting
think
them
about that
chase.
either.
Yeah. It all makes so much sense.
Right. But shoot, once I understood, girl, I was like, listen, I'm about to date within my own relationship. If this not working out, boo boo, I'm excited. It's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay because I will get 10 of you. Okay. Now that I know what I need to do,
Right.
please. Now that I know all I need to do is, and it's the stupidest thing in the world is I realize all I need to do is be Asia. I could be the bougie me. I can have you kiss my freaking toes. Like, I don't need to constantly do for you to see my value, to see me as, something. You want the natural state of who I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's truly what's valuable. When I do too much, now I'm like everybody else. Now you don't even know why you with me.
Right.
Like, I'm making myself the same by being desperate like every other woman.
Yes.
So, like, once I had that information, ooh, girl, change, magic up in this junk.
So thank you for joining us on this episode of How Women Date. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram, Growing Healing and Shit. And on Twitter, we are Growing Shit. So we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for part 2 of How Women Date, the Disney Princess Complex. You can find us on all of our social medias at Growing Healing and Shit. And we'll see you next time. Bye.